Welcome, guys. Good evening, and welcome to the show. It's not an orb, it's dust. And myself, Peter Wren, and I'm with Lynda, the Trevor, and the Cathy.
Hello.
Hello.
How you all doing? How's your week been, Lynda? All good?
Yeah, it's just been really, really busy, which I guess is good because it keeps me out of trouble. So that's good.
Yes, pretty
Yeah.
much. Cathy?
Oh, my week has been really good actually. It's been busy, but what do you do, right? I mean, it, it is what it is. No, it was a little bit busier than usual, but really good actually, really good. So, how about you guys? How about you, Trevor?
Uh, yeah, my kids have been running me ragged. I've got a freshman who started wrestling this year, so we've
Oh
been
wow.
running around doing wrestling meets with him, and that's been a lot of fun. And then my other two boys saw that, and so now they want to do it too. So yeah, good times.
Yeah.
So kids get older, they get more expensive. It's weird. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
My kid's doing diploma exams right now, so diploma exams for high school. So yeah, there we go. It's
Indeed.
graduation time, almost
Yeah.
graduation time.
oh
Lovely.
boy, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do with yourself when your child grows? He moves out.
He's never moving out.
Who can afford to these days? So,
Kids.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, no, I think he actually wants to. Like, he's gonna start looking for a job and do all of that stuff. But he's, yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm
I've
not
been
ready for it, so I'm good.
I've been sorting out our road trip in April this weekend. So we've got Kathy and myself. Before we go head up down to you guys in Boyce, we're going to go and meet a friend of mine just outside of Seattle, and we're going to go and investigate an old for Canadian standards as well, an old bar like function building in Seattle, just outside of Seattle, and it was built apparently in the 1850s. So I'm just getting the scoop on it now, but there's a lot of alleged negative activity in there and a bit of history in it as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it'd just be nice to just drive down the states again, Kathy, wouldn't it? It's been a
Yeah,
while.
no kidding. Trevor, we're heading your way.
Yes, we are. Watch out.
great. It's going to be great. So
Trouble is coming.
Hey,
yeah, we're super excited, and yeah, can't wait to get up there again to the. We're going to be going to the old Idaho Tuberculosis Hospital out in Gooding, Idaho, and our team has been out there. We've been investigating out there for several years now. We've had success. I played evidence on this show that we've caught out there. So I can't wait for you two to come out and experience it yourself. Lynda, you're still welcome to come, but
there's
Ah,
a lot
you're
of people
sweet.
going now, Trev, isn't there? There's
I know. I wish I could go, but you know what? They actually did schedule my eye surgery for April.
oh,
There you go.
Well,
if
if
it
it gets canceled, we might just have to somehow get you out to my house and we'll drive down together.
yeah.
It'll be fun. Road trip.
the hunt is at the end of April, so if it's at the beginning of April, you'll have a decent time so you can see all the ghosts there.
I know. I know my follow-up is like the 20th of April. So I mean, seriously, it's not
Hey.
good. The timing really sucks, guys.
Yeah.
I know. I just wanted to say for the show, Trevor, I got your video uploaded, so we can
Okay.
play that. Yeah, I just wanted to
Okay.
just say that.
Okay. Well, this week, guys. Oh, before I jump to the plot of the show this week, if first-time listeners, please, if you like the show and you like the content, please subscribe to the channel and click on notifications. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So this week, we decided again to just keep it amongst ourselves, and one of the hot topics which Lynda brought up last week seems to be the latest fashions of ghost hunting is ghost apps. Now, are they fake or are they real? We shall find out.
We test them, so you don't have to.
No, you don't have to, but this week I've spent a few hours on a few of the apps that I found on from my iPhone and did a bit of a kind of took them for a bit of a test drive just to see whether there's any anything that makes sense in relation to paranormal activity. So I'm going to start with the very first one that I dissected, and that was the Ghost Tube SLS camera, which was a free upload on my iPhone. I spent probably the best part of 3 hours with this, walking around my house. My house has got activity and stuff like that. Not really anything cropped out on it. The SLS camera, as folks that tuning in might know, is it's basically modeled off of the Kinect system that comes off of the Xbox, which is basically the Kinect is a series of infrared lights. It maps out images in relation to the surroundings. Because it's a computer generated interface, it relies a lot on assumptions as well. So if you're playing a computer game with it, it will automatically map out what it assumes that you're going to move in case the infrared moves around and it loses sense of your body functions. So short of it being is I spent about 3 hours around the house doing it, and in short, all I caught was a guy sitting out on my deck, lounging on my chairs out there, and I messaged the team about this last Sunday, and I did ask that little stick man if he wanted to come into my house, but he just wouldn't have anything, so he just sat there. And I think he's still there now. Like I turned it on this morning, and that little stick man was still there as well. So I don't know. I think he's just happy out there and just doing his little stick man thing. But in regard to the app,
it is a nice porch. So I mean, I'd hang out there.
It's new, right? You see the mountains and
pretty
stuff.
grim at the moment. It's about minus. It was about -4 this morning outside.
Yeah.
So it is a wee bit nippy, but then again, ghosts probably don't feel the temperature anyway. So he's got, he's sitting there lounge. He looks like he's got his feet up on my chairs, which I don't like. He's having a whale of a time. But
so what would happen if you moved the chair?
He wouldn't have anywhere to rest his legs. God bless his soul. That's what'll happen. No, all jokes aside, it's what it's doing. It's mapping out. It's making the same as the Kinect. It's mapping out an assumption based on what's visualizing through the camera. So it's mapping out a figure based on the arms and the chairs and stuff like that. It's not paranormal. It's very common. There's loads of various examples that I've taken in my own home as well, but this is kind of the one that kind of stuck out the most for me. But generally with the SLS camera itself, they are prone for false positive readings in relation to electronic equipment, like things like fridges and stuff like that. You've probably seen a lot of them on TV shows where there's like they're walking around the kitchen, and all of a sudden the compressor kicks on the fridge, and all of a sudden there's a little dancing dwarf on top of the fridge, stickman, and it's because of that it creates that interference, which causes the stickman figure to kick in, kind of thing. So
your final deduction is no.
No, it's the problem is because the similar software in relation to the SLS camera and the Kinect, it makes assumptions, and I tried it against a blank wall. There is activity in my house, as you guys know, and it didn't pull anything out, and it's not something. Even the Kinect, I wouldn't trust on investigations anyway, just because of that false positive aspect to it, and the way that the hardware actually functions as well. I think it's a good idea. It came from the movie Paranormal Activity originally, and it just dominoed, and all the ghost hunters were using it and stuff like that. It makes sense in relation to what it's trying to achieve, but it's the actual concept itself. It's the brain is functioned to make assumptions, and that's what you don't know whether it's an assumption it's made or it's actually paranormal or not. So I would say no to that one.
Now, I played with this app a little bit too, and out of all the ones that I kind of looked at, I actually thought this one was actually pretty cool.
It is.
You know, and I actually took a video of myself. Yay! Don't pay attention to my dirty closet. And so if you show the video, it really works. It does track people and your movements. And just like an SLS camera, it's not as crisp as an actual SLS camera works, but it does what it says it does. We'll see that video here in a sec.
I'll put it up right now. Hang
Okay.
on a second. 1 sec.
Here we go. So track my motion. Look in the mirror. Find the human figure. It finds humans. If you point it at a picture, it sees the face. It tries to draw the figure on that.
Right.
You know, and I know, you know, the SLS technology is, you know, a lot of people are looking at it. My team has even been looking at it to employ during investigations. I'm not fully convinced about it, mostly because there are a lot of videos out there that show how easy it is to hoax evidence on the SLS camera. And, you know, we have a hard enough time proving EVPs to be, you know, legit. So I don't know if it's going to really fly as far as an investigative tool. The other problem I have with the phone, you know, using this is that my phone doesn't have night vision. There's no IR in this. And so I tried using it in a darker area. It didn't pick anything up. But I mean, we see people that have cell phones trying to film in the dark, and things are so pixelated and grainy that their camera's not even knowing what it's looking at. It might start just throwing out whatever out there, and people, you know. Yeah. So I as far as a ghost hunting tool, no.
Yeah. Lynda, have you tried any?
We have a Kinect that we've used on some investigations, but again, it's in a really controlled environment, because you're right, you can really hoax stuff, and I've seen all of those YouTube videos about that as well. So we have had some success, but with the actual Kinect, not an app. I've never used one of those apps before, actually.
No, I never have either. I had seen a video of this one lady. She was at the hospital. She was actually having a baby. And while she was waiting for the baby, she was showing, you know, like using that app. And it was like ghost after ghost after ghost.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like,
yeah, it's you, Trevor. Kathy, we can't. Hang on.
Hold on here. I don't know what's going on.
Just gonna. No, it's not. It's not you, Trevor.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Is it me?
No.
Yeah, I unplugged my mic there for a second, but it's still going.
I think it's you, Kathy. Your microphone's squeaking. Yeah. Sorry, Kathy, I'll put you on mute. Sorry, it was squealing.
Ghost in the machine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's doing it again.
That's weird.
Hear me?
And you've gone quiet as well.
Okay, you guys talk and I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
come back on again. Yeah, I muted you because it was screaming again.
Sounds like I was in a rock concert for way too long, and I got that incessant ringing in my ears now.
Okay, so the next one is an app called Ghost Talk. And basically, the emphasis is behind it. You can it's a free download. I got it from my iPhone, and yet again, you can either type messages into your phone and it comes back with an alleged response, or you can sit there talking and it will supposedly give you a intelligent response back. So this was the app, and I'll kind of give you a kind of an overview of. The answers that you see in red are actually the responses that came back from the ghost itself. So it was both me and Mason, my 8-year-old son, we were asking questions asking him about what our names were, and we told him over and again. It was just continually over and over again. And what is our name? What is our name? What is our name? And we kind of had a bit of a chuckle out of it in relation to the responses. And we got home someone, cake someone, room cake someone, room tape someone, nut person, beef, bean.
Yeah, that was spot on right there.
That was that was supposedly the name of both me and my son. So that app itself was immediately deleted. It wasn't very successful. Gave it a good test drive and stuff like that. I can understand how these certain apps can convince people, because there is a lot of random names that are spat out that could correlate to people's environments, particularly when it comes through spirit, negative, demon, stuff like that. It's all kind of stuff that we're all aware about as well. So, but in relation to my name being Beef or Bean, no, it failed miserably, and it doesn't work. It's a pile of crap.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was that one. Any questions on that at all?
No.
No, I had a couple apps that were a lot like that. I think they work kind of like try to work like an Ovilus or whatever, and it just kind of throws out words in there. And great for entertainment, I suppose.
It was very entertaining. It amused both me and my son for a good hour, and it was kind of funny the responses we were getting. So it's entertaining, and that's what it is. It's entertainment in relation to what he's trying to do. So there's that, and then number 3 is the famous ghost radar.
Oh yeah, I have used this one. Yeah,
That's how I started my whole career. This
is the app that everyone seems to use, and everyone seems to get in contact with me about. I put it through its paces. Actually, I spent probably about 3 hours on this, and left it when I was at work as well. Where I work is a very active place as well, and I was asking random questions for some time, as well as at home. And I think in relation to some of the answers I got, and I don't think I posted any. I did, yeah. So was asking questions, and then I got that we're actually in Illinois at that time, and also as well that the name of my son's name is Universe. So I did not know that, and I thanked that spirit for enlightening me of my son's name, Universe. So he's now called Captain Universe.
You're gonna have to change that birth certificate.
Yes, yeah, he's much suited to Universe anyway. So, but it didn't work, to be honest with you, and it was fun. Like I say, it was fun to do it with my 8-year-old son and stuff like that, but didn't work, unfortunately, and yeah.
There was a time when everybody, you're right, was using Ghost Radar. I can't even remember how many years ago. But
it was. I had a friend who he's actually a doctor, and he doesn't believe in all of this whatsoever. And he went out to a log cabin in the interior of BC, and he took that with him, and he just left it running. And his daughter was absolutely petrified because it was saying that there was demons in the cabin and stuff like that. And then he was just absolutely outraged about it. And then I think that the icing on the cake was that the app called him a fairy as well. And so he had very abrupt words, which is even funny. He's very he's British as well, the same as me, but he has a very much more sterner pop voice as well. So can you imagine a British guy like swearing and like cursing at a phone? Kind of funny.
no.
Richard, if you're watching, I love you, baby.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
Next one is this one is called next one that I'm going to bring up is called the Ghost Detector Radar. Again, another free app. And
Did you do this one, Trevor?
I may have, so I have to see which one it is.
So there's
I have a few that are called ghost detectors.
I know there's like 3 or 4 different varieties on this one, but this one is called Ghost Detector Radar, and basically it brings up images of ghosts, alleged ghosts that are in your house, and you can get to talk to them and stuff like that. So I spent about 10 minutes on this and then deleted it straight away. I suddenly walked out of my kitchen and then I got an apparition of Aladdin standing.
Oh
my God.
That's amazing.
And I gave him the British salute, as you can see in the back of it as well. And apparently his name was Jacob.
Maybe you have to upgrade, pro upgrade, so that you get a more, genie name or something.
Yes, I've never heard of a Aladdin called a genie called Jacob before, and apparently I live in Texas as well, and my daughter's name was Blue as well. I think that was the other thing that came out of it as well. So that didn't really work, to say the least. So unfortunately that one was a big failure as well.
So did that one have you did it give you like a list of questions you could ask? Because I did one that was kind of similar, and
I think that's the next one. That's the next one I did.
Yeah, it kind of looks. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yeah, that's the next one I've got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the next one I'll bring up. So that one failed miserably as well. Then after that, there was the one that Trevor just pointed out. It was called Ghost Detector Spirit Board for whatever reason. This one was kind of weird. It took a little bit of a while to find the ghost. Mm-hmm. And it picked up a Victorian-looking woman standing on top of on the first leg of my coffee table. And after talking to her, she identified herself as Elizabeth, which was great. And then I asked her I clicked on the question, "Where are you from?" And apparently she's from America. So she was there for a little while, and we had a good chat. And then I deleted the app.
Well, apparently the one I met, I asked my entity what his name was because it was kind of a big shrouded figure. And it said, "Among the learned, I am known as Vorael." Wow. Ael. So apparently I'm not learned because I couldn't even say his name, but
it's funny.
Yeah. So I took his picture and said goodbye.
That name sounds like something from Superman.
It's like Boreal. I am Boreal. I'm Trevor.
I'll give you the son of Rael. That's it.
None of the learned know me. So.
Oh my God. We're batting 1,000, I can see.
Yeah.
So the one thing that struck me about all the apps, with the exception of a couple that I downloaded, you can see it clearly states entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment. Now there was a couple that I downloaded that actually said tools, which kind of surprised me, but when you're using these apps, take it with a grain of salt. It's not. Yeah, they're developing them for entertainment. There's tons and tons of ads that you have to go through. That's, they're developing. They want to make money. That's, that's what it is. And all of these, you have to, you can see the ad down at the bottom of the picture there. And then every single one of them have a upgrade, a pro, the pro upgrade for a few bucks, so,
it's the same thing without ads.
I wonder what the upgrade does.
Right?
I didn't want to find out.
We get to meet her daughter.
So I think they're great if you like your kids are having a party one night and they want to have a scary party. Play the apps. Let them play with the apps. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, and they can have a good time with it or whatever. So, but yeah, this app, there were a few different apps that were very similar to this one. And apparently, I can't show my screen on the phone. I didn't have time to send everybody the pictures I took, but there's a lot of apps like that. So. And all the ghosts that talked to me, they all spoke gibberish, and to translate it, you had to pay $2.49. So.
Oh, perfect.
Funny. It's hilarious. To be fair, though,
money at least.
It does. And like with all the apps I've gone through, and to be fair, I did ask intelligent questions, and I was trying to drum intelligent answers back, and it was just there was just nothing there. And even the concept of how the apps are made, there's no way that a spirit can manipulate a phone or that contraption in a way where it can give a name, or it can come forward in a way that would translate as words or as images as well. If they ever came to that point with research, we would have scientifically proven the fact that spirits exist. That's the way I look at it, and it's just a quick thrill in relation to an app, and the kids like it and stuff like that, and it serves its purpose in that respect. But we do get I used to get a lot of calls from clients in relation to believing that things are going on, just purely what was relayed through these apps and stuff like that, and it's tough to try and say to them that it's not, they're a pile of crap, because a lot of people put belief into that as well, and you don't want to shake people's belief systems that much, and it's you try and bring them away from the fact of believing to such things, but it's part and parcel what we do, right?
Mm-hmm. I added that picture that you just sent, Trevor. Do you want
So this is another one that was, so I have 4 apps that I downloaded. They're all called Ghost Detector, all of them. The one that Peter just showed was just called Ghost Detector on Android. This is another one that's Ghost Detector on Android. It works very much the same way. You walk around the room, it has this kind of funky camera pixelation. Everything looks black and white, kind of like that, and is really kind of distorted. And then it'll say ghost detected, and it shows you the direction to look, and all of a sudden, blam, there's a ghost on my wall, which was like 2 feet in front of me. And then it, like I said, it'll start speaking gibberish, and then you see the little translate button up there. You hit translate, and it says to translate, you need to pay $2.49 upgrade to Pro. So there you go. So my house does not have any activity in it, that at least not that I'm aware of. And so, but on each one of these apps, there were several ghosts that were roaming around my bedroom.
Ghosts that you did not know about being a ghost hunter.
What's that?
I said ghosts that you didn't know about being a ghost investigator, right?
I'm not apparently I'm not a very good investigator, so yeah.
Peter, you have another one, right?
I have last one, and so the last one was Ouija board, which cost me $2, but I was very intrigued by this. So I kept asking over and over and over again what my name is, and this was the continual response. I got that at that point. My finger was getting bored following it around.
I bet you it says I don't know, right?
Yeah, it does.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, I don't know.
I thought for obviously spending $2 on an app, I'd give it a good test drive, and I found after the 4th question, the answers kept repeating themselves. So there was I don't know, and done it again. Yeah, there was I don't know. Maria came through as well when I asked them which country we were in, and it was I'm outside, and then there was another one as well, but they kept repeating themselves over and over and over again. So obviously this app was designed for someone that wouldn't last more than 3 sessions with it, because it just kept repeating itself. But yeah,
Right.
didn't conjure any demons or anything like that. Lights are not flickering at the moment, so
Bummer.
all is good. All is good. All is good with the world.
So here's a question for you guys. Have you ever been contacted by somebody from using those apps and saying, I know my house is haunted because?
Oh yeah, several times. Yeah. They present that as like, this is definitive proof I've got an entity in my house. And like Pete says, I mean, you don't want to trample on their beliefs. I mean, there's people that really get passionate about it. And I know you have all run into it on our page. We get people that send us pictures all the time. Yeah, this is a ghost that I caught. This has got to be paranormal. And they get really upset when we pick it apart and tell them it's not. It's like, hey, we can see what you're looking at, but this is what we're seeing. And this is, there's a logical explanation for this. And trying to tell people that, hey, these apps on your phone are computer programs. They have code and stuff like that. They are designed to do things, because if they don't do anything, nobody would ever use them.
Yeah.
So that's, and phones, they are smartphones, but they're not capable of a lot of the things that these apps are saying that they can do. Yeah. What about you guys?
I remember a long time ago, this client had called us, and was kind of going through some of the stuff that was happening, and I mean, none of it was really, it was a lot of things that could be mistaken for not paranormal, but just normal activity within the house. And then to end kind of the conversation, because I was like, okay, I'm done, is when they said, well, I got that ghost radar and it's showing like ghosts all over the place, so I know I'm right. I'm like, you should call this team. They're real. Nope, not dealing with it. But they were like, no, they were convinced that they were trying to put together basically the normal happenings that could happen within a house, like deeming it paranormal or normal, lampshade swinging because the heat register came on, the door slammed. But because they had this app, obviously it must have been paranormal. So they were trying to correlate the two together. And it was like, no, we're done. We're done, But it was funny because he brought it up at the end of the conversation about the app. So you'd already listened to all of this other stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe we could investigate, maybe not. And then, but this app says, and you're like, oh, okay, that's where it's coming from. Okay, so you kind of just ended up really wasting your time, thinking maybe there's a real case here. Maybe there's a real case, until he brings up the app. I got the app, and the app is showing my house is haunted. And you're like, okay, I know.
Well, I mean, and we have had people that, would present evidence to us as, hey, we have activity in our house. This is the evidence that we have. And I'm like, okay, what else you got? I start digging into, okay, what are the experiences that you've been having? Don't tell me about what you're seeing on the screen here, but, are you hearing, oh yeah, well, we're hearing footsteps, and, somebody's been touched, or this, that, and the other. It's like, oh, okay, well, I would trust that over anything I see on one of these apps.
Yeah. And none of the things that we had talked about was, I mean, it was iffy at best as to whether or not it was going to be paranormal anyhow, iffy at best. But you're like, okay, these could be some real experiences, you're not dismissing it, but you're not fully there yet, but when they brought in the app at the end, oh, and by the way, I know I'm haunted because the app says I am. You're like, Okay. So basically, you've been watching this app, was sort of the idea that I got. I've been watching this app and it's showing all of this stuff going on, and you're kind of correlating like the heat turning on or the pipes doing that because you've been so involved with this app that you're not really using your logic in any point now. You're basing your evidence or even normal daily activity upon the app. So yeah, it was fun. But how about you guys, Peter, Lynda?
Yeah, apps, I don't know. I just have this major distrust of anything that you can download for free that is randomly generated. And yet, we have had these great debates with people that have gotten in touch with us saying things like, yes, but it's an electronic device and ghosts can manipulate that. And so if you're using one of those random voice generators, I mean, the ghosts can go in and they can manipulate your phone just like they can manipulate all kinds of other equipment in your house. So why are you being this way? Because we've gotten some really great, amazing things on our apps, and there's no way that the ghosts could have known that all of these. And you sort of say to yourself, well, okay. Oh, and it's no coincidence because there are no coincidences. So
it's
hard
crazy.
to argue. It's hard to argue with some people.
I tell people all the time, it's like, if you go to a person in the 1800s and you show them one of these,
yeah,
they will burn you at the stake for witchcraft.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anything, in my opinion, any of these entities that are there that are, from the 1800s or early 1900s, whatever, that have no idea what this technology is, it's probably going to scare them away more than anything.
Oh, hell, 1990. I mean, we didn't even
it.
have smartphones like this. I mean, we had those great big, clunky things that were like this big, and you held them up there with like.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, I think it's very presumptuous to believe that a spirit would have any understanding of electronics, modern day electronics. Maybe somebody who died today might understand that, but they have that intricate knowledge on how to manipulate something in order to communicate.
It's a concept as well, Trevor. It's like going back to what I was saying earlier. Like there's no way, like the Ovulus, like that started as an app before it became as a piece of plastic, and it just baffles me that people pay like $3,000 for a piece of plastic that has a microchip inside that spits out random words, and it's the same concept because the spirits manipulate.
I got that for free.
I know. Well, the spirits manipulate that box, and it's just like it can't. Like if it did that, science would discover how and why ghosts are there. Like it would reinvent the wheel in relation to paranormal research. If that piece of plastic that you paid $3,000 for suddenly is a piece of scientific equipment that can document paranormal activity, pack our bags. Like out the years and centuries of paranormal research is now over. We've discovered the source of how to contact the dead. And science is, embracing us, and the whole world is singing "Kumbaya" and stuff like that. It's crap. It's with it's the same as the phones as well. Like it physically can't work. Now, on the flip side of that, I've used non-paranormal apps in relation to ghost hunting. I've used when I went to Australia about 8 years ago. I investigated with a friend of mine out there, and we investigated an old ghost town in Victoria, and he used a seismic app on his iPad. Like he had a big old iPad, and with a gauge that plugged into the phone, into the actual audio side, and he used that to detect seismic activity. And it was a data log as well, and it was absolutely phenomenal. When I came back, I used the same, but the functions of our phones, they do have certain capabilities. Like they can read certain things in the environment, like they can read air pressures and stuff like that. They have the mechanics for them to do that, but it can't document ghosts, and that's it. That's it. I don't mean to be a killjoy, and that's the parameters of a phone or any of those plastic devices. Don't spend your money on obviously and apps and stuff like that. It's just it kills me. It really does.
I agree. Well, and you kind of touched on something that, because some of the apps that I've been presented with and stuff, the ones that actually claim to be tools, like the EMF detector apps. Did you any of you see any of those?
Yeah.
EMF detector apps. So I played with a couple, and I have them running, and I wanted to try to show it. So you can see it kind of. I got a glare on my TV. Sorry. So it kind of, this is one of them. This one is I think that one's just called EMF detector. And then the other one I downloaded was the ultimate EMF detector. And it's pretty amazing. I don't know if you can see, I'm running almost 600 milligauss just sitting here. Yeah, my brain is actually burning.
I'm surprised that you're not vibrating like all over, like gone off screen.
And what's funny is so what I did is I took this app, even though it's just spitting out random high numbers. Obviously, they have no idea whoever designed that does not understand milligauss at all. And I went over to my toaster and I pushed the toaster down and I stuck it next to the toaster, and it went way down. The milligauss dropped to 90.
I thought you were going to put your phone in the toaster.
Wow, it's an EMF vortex. But here's the deal. Even if we were getting a reading of some sort, the problem with the phones is that it is not capable of detecting electronic magnetic fields. It can't do it. Right. Now, what it does do, it does read geomagnetic fields. So it's one of the ways that it knows where it's at on the earth. It's able to pick up geomagnetic fields, and it can read that. Geomagnetic and electromagnetic, two different things. So, and when we're looking at spirits, we're looking for the electromagnetic fields. And that's just not something your phone is capable of. It's just not. So again, there are pro versions of both of those for anybody who's interested for the low price of $299, I believe. But you can have loads of fun. But understand, if anything is reading at 600 or 700 milligauss, that is bad.
Yeah, you're living in the power station.
We get excited when we see a tenth of a milligauss start climbing up, and for no reason, oh my gosh, it went up to 0.2. Oh, it went up to 0.3. Yeah, it's just goofy. So.
Well, I love how all the voice generation ones, the voice generators, they all have really interesting words like Beelzebub and Satan and afterlife, and it's just really absolutely okay. So in other words, what are they designed to do? They're designed, of course, for entertainment, for a bunch of teenagers in a room with a pizza and perhaps a few illegal substances going, hey man, did you hear that? Satan's here. I don't know.
Apps just designed by Zach Baggins.
Exactly. But again, I don't know. I've seen some, and this is recent as well, recent TV shows where, these people are actually doing investigations using a lot of these apps and swearing by them. And I seem to I kind of think to myself, okay, so no wonder people then will show up at, let's say, one of our public investigations going, yeah, well, I've been here for 10 minutes and nothing's happened. Satan's not here yet. So I guess we're going to the pub because you guys suck.
He got hung up on I-90.
Right?
He had to hitch a ride.
The thing about the phone, it can pick up environmental parameters as well, like things like wind and stuff like that as well. And this iPhone 13 is a really good thermometer as well. So it's not, I guess what we're getting at, it's not so much the proper scientific tools that it boasts on there. It's more to do with the ghost, cheap, thrill, scary kind of apps where they're, which has its audience, but not for what we do, and it doesn't cause a lot of havoc because 9 times out of 10, if someone comes to me with an app and a question in relation to it, it's diffused straight away. More so in a foreign tongue, where I'm like swearing a bit as well, and a bit of English slang in there as well. So it's but then it's interesting subject,
well,
sure.
if people were going to use their phones to do any type of investigating, okay, I mean, the camera quality these days are not bad.
No.
But unless you have installed an infrared filter onto your phone, you're not going to get good low light pictures. Okay.
Yeah.
So people who send us low light pictures, even with these new smartphones, super grainy, pixelated, and we have to say, we're looking at, visual pareidolia, visual matrixing, things like that. But use it as a voice recorder. You can use your phone as a voice recorder. I've been looking at getting the heat sensing cameras, the infrared cameras to put over the lens. I think those are kind of cool.
They're phenomenal. They're I got not the FLIR. I got the other one, Speed. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called now. But I got the top of the range one where you can go outside and inside.
Nice.
And it's as good as the normal gun, because we use guns that work for like thermal transfer for like heating pipes and stuff like that. And mine is the phone's more accurate with my iPhone 13 than what it is with the actual gun itself. So going back to deviating what those paranormal tools or the paranormal apps are in relation to proper uses of the phone that you can utilize for ghost investigating as well. I use mine a lot for videoing for investigations, because I don't do a lot of lights out. I think that myth in relation to you got to turn lights out for ghosts to manifest and stuff like that, I think that belongs in movies and TV shows and stuff like that. I investigate a lot with the lights on, and I use my phone as a video backup, and I've caught a lot of EVPs just by my phone rather than my voice recorder. And I've got I was using a Zoom H4n at the time Pro, which is like the bells, the Rolls Royce of all voice recorders for investigating. And the digital quality on that, like for the sound, is phenomenal. Even on the old iPhones and the Androids as well, they have really good voice recorders inside them. So if you're going to utilize them, use them for video, and you can use video and audio at the same time.
And I think that a lot of people they see these apps because they're free or they're a couple bucks, like the EMF detector apps. They're not. I mean, those ones were free, but they don't work. So I mean, you can get an EMF detector for like between $20 and $30. I mean, they're not super expensive. They may not be the ultra high end ones, but they still work. You can still take pictures with the lights on. Don't take low light pictures with your phone, but take pictures with the cameras. There's nothing. Those are great. They're every bit as good as any of the other cameras that we're using. If you are going to take pictures, though, take lots of pictures. Don't just take one snapshot. Take multiple snapshots in the same location, and so that there's before what happened and after. So
comparison shots.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about a debate that I had with somebody who said that you should never use any of your phones? Your phones should never even be at an investigation. They shouldn't be on. They shouldn't be on you, because even dead phones have a little ping system whereby, if something happens, you can call 911 and they can find you. So that you should never use any cell phones. They shouldn't be anywhere near you on an investigation. So
we generally put our phones on airplane mode just purely as common courtesy, because if someone's phone starts ringing during an investigation, I get really pissed off, because we're there for a reason, that kind of thing. Back in my earlier days of VPS, it was always, turn your phone off. Got to have the phone off because of EMF and stuff like that. It's absolute rubbish. I'm not a great believer in EMF either. I believe in actually, going into a place and doing base readings for EMF wholeheartedly, because that constitutes a paranormal, as we know. Yeah. But I wouldn't sit there looking at a K2 meter jump up and down, and I wouldn't tell any of my investigators to turn your phone off either, or just put it on airplane mode or silent, because I don't want them texting or calling someone. We're in an investigation. We've got a job to do. We're there for a reason, that kind of thing. But it's one of those things that when I started investigating in Canada 14 years ago, it was a big thing then. It was like, oh, turn your cell phone off, leave your cell phone in the cars, and it's like, what? It's like I want to leave my phone on airplane mode. No, you can't do that. And it's just like, I don't know. What about you guys?
I was actually going to use that example of the EMF. That was really the only reason why we ever turned them off or put them on airplane mode or something like that, because it does, when a text or call or whatever does come in, it does raise up that EMF. You can see you can see that happen. But the rest of it, I mean, if you even have it on silent, I mean, I've never heard of it calling 911, to be honest. I mean, here's the thing. I've dropped my phone. I've sat on my phone. I've had my hand on I might randomly, mistakenly butt dial somebody, but I've never called 911. It's never, you know what I mean? Like I would have the paramedics or fire trucks here like 24/7 if that was the case. Like, it's
Right.
like, just plop yourself down until I press on the phone again, some random place. But I've never heard of that. Like airplane mode, sure, maybe just to prevent calls coming in, or the thing is, I guess it depends on your investigators too, right? Like if you've got investigators that have to constantly be like, turn your freaking phone off.
I wouldn't allow that anyway. Like like I said earlier, we're there for a purpose, and like, a lot of the places we go to, it's always that one-shot deal. And if someone's playing on their phone and they're texting their friends and stuff like that, as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't even be there.
No, they shouldn't.
And that's purely the reason why I get people to turn their phones onto airplane mode, so they're not distracted. I don't want them staring at the phone.
Bingo. Yeah,
I want them to be focused on the investigation. Like we've become so reliant on technology now that we've started to lose our senses, and even the equipment we use, and to have a phone there is going to jeopardize it even more. We're losing our natural senses because of things like voice recorders and stuff like that.
I mean, the one thing we do have to say is, like, notifications nowadays are more rampant than, we never had notifications on the old original Samsung phone compared to the S22, which I have. The difference in those notifications coming through all the time is massive, right? So, I mean, can notifications screw everything up? I have no idea. But there's usually, even on silent, it's some sort of interference with something. So you're either going to, like you said, be distracted, or there could be a noise in the background which you're mistaking, or somebody could mistake for something that's not there, right?
Well, and I did a lot of looking into this because we use our phones during some of our investigations to do Facebook Live, to allow people to come in and see what we're doing, educational, and people can feel like they're kind of participating, and it's pretty cool. Your phone has a pulse. It has an EMF pulse. I took a EMF detector that actually kind of sounded like a Geiger counter a little bit. And I laid my phone on top of it, and it was like tick, tick, tick. It was like a heartbeat. It was really cool because it's continuously looking, sending, and receiving a signal, right?
Yeah.
From the network. When you get a text message, as Kathy said, it spikes it. It doesn't send it throughout the entire room. No. It's a localized spike, and it's there and then it's gone. It's not a lasting thing. And I'm with Peter on the EMF thing, as far as like, I kind of use it as a tool a little bit. If I'm in the middle of the woods and there's no reason that an electromagnetic field would be there, then I might look a little closer at that area, but I don't count it as anything paranormal, but I like having the phone also at the investigation as opposed to a radio. so that if I need to talk to my guy at base, I can just send him a quick text. And
Right.
we're not disturbing the rest of the investigation. One of our viewers just talked about how she's using her phone as a medical device, and I honestly, other than being a distraction to the person that has the phone, I don't see anything wrong with having one on an investigation. I don't think it's going to ruin anything.
No, agreed. Good point. Thank you. So you're not going to be using any of those ghost radars anytime soon, then, right?
No.
Oh, what are you talking about? That's all we're going to use in Gooding. In April, we're only running these apps. That's it. It's going to be epic. We're going to have so much evidence.
We're going to turn around and drive back to Canada. We'll be like, bye. I'll give you the British salute on the way out.
And that was Trevor's last show.
Yeah. Bye, Trevor.
Who is that kook? Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will be back next week with another show. And if you, oh, sorry, I can't find the. Sorry, the screen's gone dead. Oh, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Kind of a bit of a glitch there, but no, thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another show. And have a fantastic week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.